First job this morning, helping a neighbour shift some cattle down the road. He's just going to load them out of our cattle yards. Just got a wee block down the road down here that doesn't have cattle yards on it, so doing the neighbourly thing, letting him use our yards. So once we get them onto our place, it will be pretty smooth sailing. I was a bit nervous with the traffic. Fair enough. Good morning. Got those cattle in. They're in the yards. Truck will be soon, but that's for Wayne and them to sort out. Down here at the lease block, we've just had our Monday morning meeting. So I've got our plate meter, and we're going to go plate meter on the whole lease block. We've been doing a winter feed budget, so really need some accurate pasture measurements to work out exactly how much we've got down here. So this is Winter Star annual ryegrass, and it has gone great guns, starting to lodge, starting to fall over. So I will reset this. Can you hold that for me? Thank you. Go for a wander. A bit of tucker in here.
Yes.
Wasted all. Alright, 5,694 kilos. Takes a fair bit of feed.
Is it, might be a silly question, but when it gets this long, is that too much for sheep? Too hard for them to eat?
They'll waste a lot if you don't break feed it and manage it.
Yeah.
It'll all be, like if you look down the bottom, there is a bit of dead material starting to die, so that's not ideal. It really is too long.
Okay.
But for winter feed, it'll be okay. So just putting all our pasture walk information into Farm IQ. So there we go. Date, farm walk, area, finish. So then we just go back to the map, we go to the next one, click on that paddock, and complete the process for most of the paddocks on the farm, apart from the crop ones.
How do you measure crop? Is that where you take the...
Yeah, metre quadrant sample, actually cut it and weigh it.
And you got to dry it out too, don't you?
If you want to work dry matter out, there's lots of tables out there about the different dry matter, so you can just use a standard figure, you don't have to.
Right.
I mean, for all our intents and purposes, we're not selling it. If you were selling it per kilo of dry matter, you would weigh it.
So that's to put it into a...
This is just for feed budget, so... Yeah. And then the animals will tell us whether we've got that number pretty close or whether we're way off.
Those go, hey mate, you're off.
They're like, bro, you're feeding us too little. Well, bro, I can't eat this much.
Yeah.
That's what we'd say.
Sweet. Especially Buttercup, she'll let us know.
Yep.
She's our consultant.
Yep.
Cool.
Right, we'll reset this and do this paddock as well.
So we were just saying that this paddock's a little bit, well, I said it was trickier to plate meter, but Alistair said just walk in a straight line and don't have a preference as to where you put in the plate meter. The reason I was saying it's tricky is because it's uneven, but like he says, if you're just taking an average, you just walk in a straight line.
28.66. A lot of rough feed in here.
It's not always a bad thing though.
No.
You just got to use it in that way, right? Bit of a not us fire going on.
8.66. Yes. No, don't blame us. Wasn't me.
Was me.
What's this? This is all subterranean clover. So the clover that is an annual, seeds in the ground, the right conditions, it'll germinate. It'll grow throughout the winter, then put flowers and burrs and bury the seed back in the ground in the spring. You can tell, so it has a leaf, a hairy leaf, a wee bit like red clover, but quite a bit hairier. And then the Mount Barker, the traditional sub clover, has these brown kind of bits in the leaf. No, you can't really see that, but some of them do. There was also a wee bit of white clover, so that's white. So clover leaf, but that's not hairy. And it's got these tiny little spines, tiny little spikes on the edge of the leaf, serrations.
Well, that's I didn't realise you could tell white and red clover when they're not flowering.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So one of the reasons for kind of not using too much chemical on these paddocks for thistles and bits and pieces is to try and make it so the subclover can establish and can grow. You spray your thistles out, you kill your subclover and all that stuff.
This one's not too bad. Not seeing. Is it the wrong time of year to see thistles?
Oh, they'll all be dying off.
Yeah.
I don't know whether we hard grazed this and then it's all just come away.
And some yarrow. We learnt yesterday people can eat yarrow. Plantain, you can eat that too.
This will actually be a good mix of pastures to be grazed with that.
Yeah, that was
so
my...
They can have a run-off paddock. They can have a break of this and a break of that.
That was my...
Or otherwise we're going to have to feed hay in there.
Thoughts with when you said it's got a bit of roughage. Not a bad thing. Yeah, balance.
I was testing that, see whether the grass was affected by grass grub.
Yeah.
If it's affected, you can pull it out really easily. And it feels real spongy under your foot. So that one was 34.24. 44.34. It's quite a lot of grass. Same with this paddock. 44.34. Right, we'll put that in here. With that one, Woodstock 3.
Knowing that one there, what do you think that one there is? Similar? Yeah. So 6 something.
44.34. Well, I've never seen this much grass down here in my life. No, 5 years we've had it. This one was one I was going to put Tow and Fert foliar on.
Does it need it?
Don't think needs it really at the moment. It's 47.14. So I was just saying to Genna, those of you who've been following along the channel for a while will know kind of what these dryland old grass paddocks down at the lease block used to be like, especially those locals that are driving up and down here. I was just saying that is money well spent. So we sprayed it out twice. We put some fert down the spout and a direct drill, and that's the result we've got. We'll get one grazing off it, then it'll come away. We'll get a couple more. Yeah, this paddock here is cocksfoot, ryegrass, red clover, white clover, and we purposefully left this to go to kind of bulk up as a roughage source for that paddock, knowing that they're going to be really, really lush. So we'll get on to plate metering this one. 6,534 kilos of dry matter in this paddock. Yeah, so you got to take these numbers with a bit of, you got to think about them a bit. So paddock like this, the grass and the forage in here is going to have a higher dry matter content than lush green stuff like that. So they say 6,000 kilos in here won't be the same feed value as 6,000 kilos in there. The megajoules of metabolized energy will be different, the dry matter will be different, the desirability from the animals will be different, things like that. So, but it gives us a good starting point, this process. 53.34 for this paddock behind me that we pulled the baler jet off. We cut baler jet here, and then these are the two crop paddocks down here. They're a bit patchy, but what's that going to do? I need just a rough estimate for now, and then when we start to feed them, we'll come down here and measure them properly. But there's probably 8 tons in there, 7 tons maybe. Yeah, probably 8. We'll go with 8. it'll do for our budget, and we'll see what the end result of that comes out like. So there's this one paddock here that will need some fertiliser. It was one of the last ones we grazed, older pasture. We don't need the feed as such with the nitrogen we're going to put on, but it helps paddocks like this come away after they're grazed. And so the plan down here, probably bring all the ewes down off the hill down to here, graze all the grass paddocks first, and then let them just come away and build some cover before lambing, and probably lamb some first cycle terminal ewes down here. So putting fert on here will increase the ability of this paddock to come away and then produce some feed before lambing. So that was 2,642, so only 1,600 kilos of available feed in here really. Not a lot, could do with a boost. So we're all done down here, all plate metered. We'll go home, look at the data on Farm IQ. But yeah, it's probably three paddocks that need some fert down here. So we'll go jump in the Tow and Fert with our tabular pressure placement and show you guys how all that works. Putting some DAP in as well, nitrogen. What do we got? 500 kilos of nitrogen, 100 kilos of DAP. Makes a good wee mix. And then yeah, we'll let it agitate and we'll head off to the lease block. Shoot this telehandler back down the road while that agitates. Just probably only going to get a chance to do one load today, so that can just dissolve away and we will drop this back. Telehandler dropped back. We'll have a look and see what we've got going on here. Connect that up. Go agitating away. Shut the lid. Sawdust out of the way. Shut the lid and head to the lease block. So that's our weight on at the moment, 2.8 tonnes. Drop our forks off, don't need to take them all the way down there, and we'll be good to go. Arrived at our paddock, fresh jobs. I've already put in a job from the desktop at home, so we press on that. That's where we are now, location, you see that, and then this is the area that we've got to do. We probably won't get it all done today, but we can start job, we can edit it all. So first time we're going to go around the boundary, we'll flick our booms out on here. Got it going. We're painting our line, so we're just going around the outside of our paddock there. We're ferting, we've got our booms going 20 metre spray width. Once we do our outside round, we'll set our AB line and start going up and down. So as we come down the last side, we'll place our AB line. So just one point and then you drive to the other end of the paddock, another point, straight line, and then I'll show you what it does here. Place B point, and those are our lines. You can just go up and down, paint that in. So we've got our AB line, we've got our light bar at the top. All we're going to do is just try and keep that light centered as it is there, roughly. We don't have auto steer, so we're still manually steering it. Correct placement. It's working pretty good. We're into the new paddock. Just going to do a round around here, and then we'll have to reset our AB lines. So you can do that once you've set them. You can just remark them and then set your up and downs again, which is good. So going not too bad. Yeah. Plate meter from this morning, we had 4,200 as the average cover across the whole lease block here. So not including the crops. So we're in a pretty good spot. If you're interested, hang around at the end of this video and I'll show you our winter feed budgets as we've done them. Yeah, we've got a few decisions to make about where stock are going and just bits and pieces. And yeah, with the potential of buying in more stock, or we've got a few options here, so we'll discuss that at the end of the video. So we'll just put a new AB line on this fence line. So we just click reset guide A. We've got our A point already, and then we'll just come down here to the corner, the corner of the fence just here. So then we'll place B line. There we go. We'll continue doing our rounds, but then when we come back, it'll be straight up and down on that fence line. Get over you bugger. There we go. Now we can straighten up there. Like, come on, nearly there. There we go. We're on our new AB line. Cutting a swath through the paddock. Zoom out. Show you that, if you can see that. Pretty hard to camera to video this kind of stuff, but here we go. Straight through the guts. We'll fill this paddock in, 5.5 hectares. This is set up with section control as well, so you can control each side of the sprayer with these switches here. So as we're coming up here, we're going to start covering off our right hand side again, so we don't want to double applicate on that side. So we can flick our right hand boom off, it'll stop painting, and we can just fill in the gap with our left hand boom. Beauty. So we're just about to finish this paddock. We've got 350 odd litres left, kilos left. So we will, there we go, we'll finish there. Knock that off, turn our painting off, and we will go and do outside rounds of this paddock over here. But I won't get that finished, I'll have to fill up and come back another day to do that. I'm just wary of the time. I've got to take Millie to a thing in Oxford, Rangiora. So we'll get the last of this out and head home. So we made it all the way around the third paddock. What do we do? 11.5 hectares, 3.59 to go. So we will have to come back and finish that another day. We'll fold it up, we've got a clip up, and we'll head back through the river. Here's our winter feed budget starting at the lease block. We'll run you through all the different numbers. Yeah, so sit back, enjoy if this is something you're interested in. So at the top we have demand. So we've got the ewes split up into kind of 3 different lines. Mixed age ewes, light condition, which need a bit more feeding. So my estimates will be 200 of them. That's probably under condition score 3.
they're going to get 2.25 kilos a day. That's averaged out over the 90-day period of winter. So you've got the total per day requirement there of 450 kilos of dry matter. So over 90 days they'll consume 40 tonnes of feed. Mixed age ewes plus better than condition score 3, 750 of them. They're only going to get 1.9 kilos of feed per day. That equals 1425 total for that mob per day, 90 days, 125. And you get this tutors, just to make everything work. We're probably only going to have them down at the lease block for 60 days. They also get 2.25 because they are just tutors, they're still growing. Yeah, these demand and intakes can be pretty easily changed. So down the bottom we've got a total demand of 209,000 kilos, and that averages out over the period of 90 days at 3,487 kilos per day. The other supplies that we've got, so we've got 80 bales of baleage down there, 200 kilos of dry matter, there's 16 tonnes of them, 20 hay bales we can bring from the home farm down there, 300 kilos each of those, 6,000 kilos of that. We haven't put any we haven't allocated any nitrogen for growth down there at the moment, even though we have put some Tow and Fert, some foliar nitrogen on there. And then kale, 9 hectares, about 8 tonnes at this stage, but that'll get firmed up when we do a cut and weigh the crop. So 72,000 kilos of that. You've also got to incorporate pasture growth over the block over the winter. So we're in Canterbury, it gets pretty cold. This feed budget, I should have said at the start, was just from start of June to end of August, because we want the place set up for lambing 1st of September. So here you've got in the highlighted cells days of the month, average pasture growth for that month. So 6 kilos in June, pretty much nothing in July. We don't tend to grow a lot. And it starts just ticking away a wee bit in August at 5 kilos. So total grown over that period, 335 kilos of dry matter per hectare. Can times that by the area in pasture, so 55 hectares. Total block 65 hectares, but we've got 9 or 10 out for kale. So total growth over the block, 18 tonnes. So then we add the supply and what is grown, 112,425 kilos. So we're in a deficit of 96,825 kilos, which is 1,760 kilos of dry matter per hectare. So we plate metered the other day, and that came out at it was 44.89, I think, average, so per hectare. So we take off 1,000 kilos of grazing residual, so you're only grazing down and you're leaving 1,000 kilos behind in the paddocks. So that's pasture cover at the start of the period, and then this is the pasture cover, expected pasture cover at the end of the period. So by hopefully, all going well, by the start of lambing, 1st of September, we should have 1,728 kilos of dry matter sitting on the pastures, ready to lamb on. So that's the lease block. We've got that pretty well tidy. I'm pretty happy with that pasture end pasture cover there. We'll go to the home farm. So this is a bit more to this one. So we've got no ewes on the home farm, they're all down at the lease block. We've got 300 tutors just for 30 days, taking up the slack from the lease block. So there's our total requirement for that mob. We've got 300 ewe lambs, 90 days, 1.5 kilos, 40 tonnes, some rams and bits and pieces. We've got our beef cows, so our scanned in calf beef cows, 38 of them, 15 heifer calves that we kept as replacements. They're getting 5 kilos a day. First calvers, 22 of them, get 10 kilos a day. Second calvers, 16 of them, get 10 kilos a day. Dry cows, 50 of them. They're only going to be on farm for 60 days, and then we're going to get rid of them on a winter contract. So they're getting 10 kilos a day. And then we've got some bulls, breeding bulls. that should actually be 5. Not going to change things a heck of a lot. No deer, no farm deer anyway. Total feed requirement 170,000 kilos. This one's got a wastage factor in 15%, which, yeah, if you're solely on grass, it's you kind of work that into the post grazing residual anyway. So his total feed allowance, including a wastage factor of 196,000 kilos. So if we come down here, our supply, we've got 6 hectares of kale at 12 tonnes at the moment. We've got 40 bales of hay here on hand and 30 bales of baleage on hand here. I've got that just in that column because we don't need it as yet. So total supplements, and some rough block right at the back, 1,000 kilos of dry matter per hectare on there at 40 hectares. So 112,000 kilos of supplements, and then we've got our growth as well. So we've got no growth in May because we're not part of that. So we're just looking at, once again, June, July, August. 5, 0 and 5, same as the lease block, growing 305 kilos of dry matter per hectare. This is showing feed deficit of 64 kilos of dry matter per hectare over that period. So if we start with an opening cover of 1600, which is probably what we're going to be around about at after flushing, we're feeding the ewes as much as, after mating, we're feeding the ewes as much as possible there. We close at 1664 kilos. So we have a surplus of 22,534 kilos of dry matter on the home farm. So that gives you a bit of an overview of the winter feed budget, how we kind of work in the toughest time of the year for us, winter, and then setting ourselves up well for lambing. There will be a few numbers in here, like I just noticed. I've got hay at 170 kilos a bale there. Then down here we have hay at 300, so we can change that. That'll change things slightly, but we're still ending off with 1,681 kilos at the lease block. So hope this helps. Any questions, chuck them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you in the next video.